Welcome to tailoring. This is the fourth key element of the PRINCE2 methodology. Even though it is discussed in chapter 4 and the themes and processes are in chapters 5 to 12 for themes and 13 to 20 for processes respectively, the tailoring still remains the fourth key element and it is a part of the whole of PRINCE2. So, of course, we'll be discussing the basic and integral things of tailoring as we continue. So, let's move on. Okay, so now talking about tailoring, let's quickly understand some key terms. So, we're talking about tailoring, meaning adapting a method or process to suit the situation in which it will be used. And then we have another word, which is embedding. This is the act of making something an integral part of a bigger whole. Embedding is what an organization needs to do to adopt PRINCE2 as its corporate project management method and encourage its widespread use. So adopting PRINCE2 is done by organizations, and this is where they simply, from the PRINCE2 book, they create their own form of PRINCE2 method, which is used to help the way they run the organization. Okay, so it's like they create their own PRINCE2 methodology based on what is in the PRINCE2 book, which is managing successful projects with PRINCE2, to help in how they practice the things they do in the organization. Okay, and of course, this could take a bit of time. You might have to change some terms to suit the organization or merge certain things, but they simply create the basic thing is they simply create a PRINCE2 based method, and then they embed it into their organization, using it as a way of working in the organization. So let's quickly talk about how we tailor PRINCE. Okay, so talking about tailoring here, we have two incidents that could occur. Let's say you are a project manager and you're certified in PRINCE2, and then you are appointed by an organization to come and handle a project, and this organization do not have a preferential project management methodology. Now, it is up to you to use the PRINCE2 book as a guideline to tailoring the project, tailoring PRINCE2 to that project. However, also, let's even say the organization already has their own embedded PRINCE2 based project management method. They will still have to tailor it to suit the projects that they are doing. So either way, whether an organization has embedded it or they do not have an embedded PRINCE2 type method, tailoring has to be done. So in the event that it is just the project manager that is certified, tailoring is done directly from the PRINCE2 book. But if the organization already has a PRINCE2 based project management method, they do it using the documents related to their own PRINCE2 created methodology. Now, let's go further to discuss the things that are tailored in the PRINCE2. Continuing on tailoring, please take note of this. The principles cannot be tailored. They are simply rules. And in fact, tailoring starts from application of the principles. If you want your project to be a PRINCE2 project, the principles, all seven, has to be applied. All seven have to be applied to the project for it to primarily even be called a Prince2 project. The things that we can tailor are as follows: the processes, the themes, the roles, the documents we create, and the terminologies we use. So the processes, the 7, they can be merged in certain situations. For example, for some projects, you may decide that immediately after the project is authorized, you don't need to have a stage boundary at that point. You just start executing the first stage. So that means once the PID is ready, the project manager should have prepared the first stage plan as well. So once you submit both, they give approval and it just goes straight to controlling a stage during a management stage for delivery immediately. So that can actually happen depending on the situation. All right, the themes, these have to be tailored, and there are tailoring guidelines written in each of the processes, and of course how the themes can be tailored. So in the themes, you're allowed to apply the techniques of your choice. Remember, I mentioned this during the course of plans and quality, and I think perhaps risk, that the techniques required for handling certain things during a Prince2 project are not specified by Prince2. So Prince2 allows you to choose any technique of your choice that is appropriate to the project. Okay, and of course, roles in Prince2, you can have roles combined and you can split roles as you deem fit, but you need to make sure that you're following the guidelines for combining roles and splitting them based on what is dictated in the organization theme. For example, the project manager and the executive cannot be the same. It cannot be the same person. And of course, you need to make sure that you're checking that the interests of the roles you are combining do not have any conflict. So of course, you have to take note of the tailoring guidelines regarding roles when you want to combine or split roles. Okay, accountability has to be maintained. That is important. We do not combine roles and lose the accountability. Okay, now as for management products, these are simply documents, and of course, depending on the environment where the project is handled, it may be an organization where paper is not really the thing, that tools are really the thing. So you might have to use presentation boards or work with an app. So whatever works for that environment is what you're going to tailor it to suit. You can use an Excel sheet to combine all the registers and so on. So basically, you can combine the documents or split them depending on the environment where it's being used. Could be the use of slide decks, wall charts, or data held on an IT system, depending on the project environment. So this you need to take note of. And of course, regarding terms, you do not necessarily have to use the terminology dictated in Prince2. You could choose your own terms as long as it means exactly what it's supposed to represent. You choose it to represent regarding with respect to the Prince2 textbook. For example, if you want a checkpoint report from the team manager, you could simply call it a progress report. So we understand you talking about a checkpoint report, but during the course of the project, you're calling it a progress report. So basically, these are the following things that can be tailored during a project. And the reason for tailoring is to make it easy for adaptability of the Prince2 methodology to that environment. All right, like I mentioned, Prince2 by far is the most flexible methodology in the global space. So one of the key reasons why Prince2 is very, very good is because of its adaptability to project environment. So take notes of that. And questions about this definitely come up during the foundation and the practitioner exams. I hope this has been very explanatory. So now we can move on to the discussion of the themes. Thank you.